A while back I had this idea for a video that I thought I might like to put up, asking a couple of questions about science, and then I thought, well, I don't have a whole lot of subscribers, maybe I'll wait till I get more subscribers and see how that goes. And recently a YouTuber named Al1981X put up a video where he asked a science question, and he got a very good response, so I'm thinking maybe I can get a response to this question after all. It's kind of a hard question to phrase, so hopefully you'll bear with me for a minute while I try to put this together. But here's the gist of it. Whenever we hear about the Big Bang, it talks about expansion, and it talks about how many galaxies there are now, and the fact that we can use redshift to count back basically to the furthest point to determine when the Big Bang was, 13.5 billion years ago. But whenever we see a diagram of it, it's always expansion in one direction. It's always expansion towards where we are now. But it seems to me that if the singularity exploded, in a sense, it would explode round. It would explode outward in all directions, including away from us. So when we look back and we reach this wall where the Big Bang is, and I understand that, why we reached that wall, would there not in fact be just as much material going away in the other direction? And if there is just as much material going away in the other direction, and if time and space are the result of expansion, and if time and space only exist because of expansion, then wouldn't the space-time going the other direction basically be reversed? Wouldn't there be time going in the opposite direction away from us on the other side of the point of the singularity? I don't know if that question makes sense, if I've explained it well or not, but it seems to me, and I'm just speaking as a layman here, that there would be ramifications of that, and that it should be something that ultimately we could, not now, well, I'm not saying right now we could, but ultimately, if we factor that into our exploration of the issue, that ultimately the idea of time going in the opposite direction on the other side of the singularity could account in some ways for what space-time actually is, and why it affects things the way that it does, and why it's relative. I'm not sure, and again, I'm not sure I'm explaining this as well as I need to be explaining it, but it's a question that I have, and it's a question that vexes me, that I don't understand, and I've never seen it explained. Maybe in maybe in that world of quantum physics, science, debate, they've actually touched on this issue, but I've never seen it addressed. And they might be only not addressing it in the regions that I look for because it's something that isn't, they can explain it to laymen like myself. But if that ever has been thought about or considered, I'd like to hear, even if it's over my head, I'd like to hear what those kind of thoughts regarding that are. The second question that I have is on a completely different issue, and it relates to music and animals. As human beings, when we hear music, it affects us emotionally in several ways. We use it as part of our mating rituals. When we hear music, we tap our foot, we whistle, we hum along. If we know the words, we sing along. We bob our head, we shake our shoulders, we do all kinds of things. Sometimes, especially in crowds, we even get up and move to the music. And this has been going on as long as humans have existed, as far as I know. So my question is, what is it about the human condition uniquely that has this effect on us? I mean, I know that, like, you'll see, if you're playing music, you'll see a bird bobbing its head, but the bird isn't really necessarily being emotionally affected. It's not being turned on by very white. It's not being roused to praise God by hymns. the emotional effect that it has on animals, even monkeys and chimpanzees and gorillas, as far as I can see, is not the same kind of effect that music has on people. And is this something that, from a non-evolutionary standpoint, from a standpoint of religious people, that we should be exploring why a little bit more, so that we can explain when the issue comes up, because I'm concerned that it will come up. Humans are somehow separate from the animals because we've been blessed with this. I mean, obviously it's something evolutionary, but I don't understand what the evolutionary benefit was, or if it's a side effect of some other evolutionary benefit, and if it may be that music is something that can be explored to actually define what it is about the human condition that makes humanity humanity. Again, I may be misphrasing that question too, but I think the gist of what I'm asking is out there. And if anybody has any comments on this or any information on this, that's what I'm putting this video out for. So, hope to hear from you guys, and thanks for taking the time to listen.